my name is Moni.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And today we're going to be showing you how to play a game that is coming to Kickstarter called Dreadful Meadows.
This game is designed by Lukus Adam and it's published by Arkus Games, who are helping sponsor this video. In this game, it's a 1 to 4 player experience where we're going to be competing as different confectioners, trying to grow candy in our different patches, and also try to score the most amount of points by fulfilling these different orders.
Yes, we are candy makers, and we're going to be growing candy in our meadow. And so today we're going to be showing you how to play it. But before we get started, we do have to mention that this is considered a prototype copy of the game, which means things are subject to change in the final copy. The version we have is also the deluxe version of the game. And so if you're interested in checking out what the retail version has to offer, as well as any more information about the campaign, we'll leave a link to the campaign in the description below.
Last but not least, if you can all do us a big favor and turn on your Klingon subtitles, just in case you make any mistakes, we can add those corrections there. And also, if you do like these videos and you want to see more in the future, please consider subscribing.
And with that, we are ready to begin. So if you please direct your attention to the center of the table, we're all set up here for our 2-player game of Dreadful Meadows. Welcome to the dreadfulest of meadows.
Yes.
As you can see, each player plays as their own confectioner, and so today I'm playing as Nina with my own asymmetric ability.
Yeah, I'm Jack. I also have my ability.
We also have 3 harvest sprites, and these are sort of going to be like our workers. We're going to be sending them to our meadow in order to grow more candy, and then returning them to our player boards to earn bonus abilities. Each player also starts with 2 different patches to make up their candy meadow, as well as 3 concoction cards of different point values that we're going to try to fulfill before the end of the game. Now, over the course of the game, we're going to be growing our candy meadow by purchasing more patches from the market and growing candy using our harvest sprites and the harvesters. And so in this game, candy can be used in 2 different ways. The first way is as your sort of currency. And so as you can see, the different patches have a certain monetary value assigned to them. For example, the Dreadful Tree is $5, whereas the gummy globs are worth $1. And so whenever I am spending money to purchase additional patches, I'm going to be spending actual candy from my meadow.
Right.
And the second way is to turn them in for victory points via these concoction cards. As you can see, each card shows a different combination of candy that it wants. And so at any time during your turn, you can assign candy from your meadow onto these cards in order to try to fulfill them. And so the way that the game works is players are going to be taking turns, taking 1 action each until the end game trigger has been met, which means the number of rounds in this game is going to be variable. And so there are 4 different types of actions that you can take, but on your turn, you're only choosing 1. The first type of action you can take is buying more patches from the market. And so in order to do this, you have to spend money, aka candy, from your meadow. Now in doing so, you can't get change, but you can use your candy to purchase more than 1 patch from the market. The price you have to pay is going to be the base amount that's listed on the patch itself, plus whatever it says on its position on the market board. So if I wanted to purchase the pumpkin pops, I would have to pay $4 plus 1, so a total of $5. So since I'm the start player, on my turn, I could spend both of these candies for a total of $6. I would spend them back into the market here to purchase both the gummy globs as well as the Phantom Mallows. Although I think that was only a total of $5.
Yes.
So I did not need to spend my gummy glob right there. And then, whenever you purchase patches, you must immediately place them in your meadow. When adding patches to your meadow, each patch must be adjacent to at least one side of another patch, just like that. And you're not required to place like-type patches next to each other, but you may want to strategically for scoring purposes in the future.
Right. After this, you're going to slide down all remaining patch tiles to the right and then add 2 more from the bag.
Yeah.
Just like that. So we refresh the market.
Now, just as a note, when placing patches in your meadow, you have to place them 1 at a time because sometimes that matters. And once you place them, they can never be moved. So you need to make sure that that is the proper placement that you're looking for. Lastly, newly placed patches do not come populated with candy. That is the next type of action.
Right. The next type of action you can take is placing out one of your sprites into your meadow. So the way you do that is place out one of your sprites onto an empty patch. And what this is going to do, it's going to help you grow more candy inside your meadow. The way you assess this is where you place the sprite, anything that's adjacent that is empty is going to become populated with more candy. So the Dreadful Tree, the Treacle Teeth, and the Phantom Mallows will all get it. Now, this Phantom Mallows already has its candy on it, so this is not going to grow any more candy.
Right, because each patch can only hold 1 piece of candy, technically. In addition, any patches that are diagonally across from that patch also do not grow any candy because only the patches with at least 1 side touching will grow. And as a reminder, at any time on your turn, you can move your candy from your meadow to your concoction cards to score them at the end of the game for victory points. Or you can just leave them there in order to use them as money for the future.
Right.
But when scoring your concoction cards, Dreadful Tree candy counts as a wild type of candy. The third type of action that you can take are purchasing these harvesters, which will make candy growing a lot more lucrative and will also score you points at the end of the game. Now, I do have to mention that, again, this is the deluxe version of the game, so the acrylic standees will not be a part of the retail version. But in order to purchase a harvester, you must be able to place it on a patch that's fully encircled by adjacent patches. And the cost to purchase a harvester is going to be the sum of the values of those adjacent patches. And so if I wanted to purchase a harvester and place it here, I would have to pay $5, $6, $7, $8. So I could spend these 2 pieces of candy to purchase that harvester.
Look at that.
Yep. Now on a future turn, if I were to place out one of my sugar sprites on, say, this patch over here, not only would it generate candy along the perimeter on the adjacent patches, but it would also cause the harvester to generate candy on its adjacent patches. So in this example, I would gain an additional 3 pieces of gummy globs, one on each adjacent patch. Now, if, say, I had an additional harvester on an adjacent patch next to another harvester, it would cause a chain reaction, and this harvester would also grow candy on its adjacent patches. In addition, at the end of the game, harvesters are also going to score you points. Each harvester scores you the number of points equal to the value of the patch that it's on. So this one's going to score me 1 point. And at the end of the game, for each patch that's in the harvester's cluster, and a cluster is a grouping of same colored patches, each patch without a harvester in that cluster will score points equal to the number of harvesters in the cluster. So in this example, each of these patches without a harvester will score 1 point. If I had that second harvester, like I was showing earlier, then they would each score 2 points. So harvesters can be very lucrative. Now, we already learned how sprites can help grow more candy by placing them on patches in your meadow, but they also provide a bonus ability whenever you retrieve them, which is our last type of action. Taking this action allows you to retrieve more than 1 sprite, but you must resolve each bonus ability before moving on to the next. And the type of ability that you get is going to be dependent on the color patch you're retrieving your sprite from.
When retrieving sprites from Orange Pumpkin Pops, you immediately get to place out any unused sprite out onto an empty patch. So in this case, maybe I want to put it here so I can now repopulate all these different locations with candy. Phantom Mellow patches allow you to generate 2 candy on it, which is the exception to the rule. So let's put these 2 out.
Because typically you can only hold 1.
Yep.
Retrieving sprites from gummy globs allows you to gain 1 candy of your choice for fulfilling a concoction card. So as you can see, this concoction card over here just needs 2 more pieces of candy. 1 treacle teeth and another gummy glob. I could fulfill them right now using candy from my meadow, but this bonus ability gives me 1 for free. So I'm going to take a treacle teeth from the market, place it directly there, and then fulfill the card by placing 1 of my gummy globs onto it.
Nice.
Now the card is fulfilled, I can empty it and flip it over, and this will score me 6 points at the end of the game. Now I only have 1 last concoction card left. So in order to gain more, I can retrieve a sprite from a dreadful tree. So taking this back allows me to just draw 1 concoction card from the deck, and now I can fulfill another.
Yep.
And last but not least, retrieving your sprite from a treacle teeth patch will gain you another patch from the bag. So you draw it from the bag and place it directly into your meadow.
Ooh.
So I have a gummy glob here. I'm just going to add it right there. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the 4 different types of actions that you can take. But as a reminder, you're only taking 1 on your turn. And like we mentioned earlier, each confectioner has their own asymmetric ability.
Yep.
And so as Nina, my ability says I gain the corresponding sprite bonus of the first patch I place after purchasing, which is why it's important for you to place each patch 1 at a time when purchasing them.
And as Jack, I get to ignore all market costs when purchasing patches. So anything that's printed on the board, I can omit those.
That's really nice.
Yep.
And of course, there are additional confectioners for you to explore. As soon as only 1 harvester is left, or the bag is completely empty of patches, or the deck of concoction cards is emptied, this will trigger the end of the game. The current player finishes their turn, then each additional player gets 1 more turn, and then you go into final scoring. At the end of the game, players will score points for each of their completed concoction cards, each harvester, depending on the value of the patch that it's on, each patch in its cluster that does not have a harvester, and lastly, each player will get 1 point for every $5 worth of candy that's still in their meadow, but not counting candy that's on incomplete concoction cards. And at that point, whoever has the most points wins. And so that is just a general overview of how you play Dreadful Meadows.
Yes, this game also comes with a solo mode, which we did not discuss here, but if you are interested in it, there's probably all the information in the Kickstarter campaign link, which is down in the description down below.
Now, if you have any questions about anything that you saw here today, please feel free to leave it in the comments section down below, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Thank you all so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more like this in the future, please consider subscribing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.